Hello Duelist, Avery here from the Average Duelist channel, bringing you my top 8 Phantom Knight deck profile from our recent Star Charity event. It's a little bit of a bigger event, I would say like a smaller regional, and I got top 8. I finished 8th in Swiss, and then proceeded to lose the top 8 to my cursed deck, Virtual Worlds. That deck just always beats me. I can't do anything about it. So I'll go over the deck profile. I also just won locals, went undefeated with this deck. So it's pretty good. Not too many things to change about the list. But there are some things I want to talk about from my last list going into this list now being a post-BODE list. But let's go over it real quick. So the PK lineup pretty much stayed the same. 3 scales. 3 boots. I added in that second cloak like I said I would. 1 greaves. 1 gloves. A card I said I was going to take out, which I actually did take out. And then I did horrible the next tournament. And right before this Star Charity event, I said, you know what? I'm just going to put it in. I'm going to see what happens. Let me take out these extra hand traps I have. And it was Tour Guide. She was actually still amazing. I don't know why I ever took her out. She's staying in. It feels like a lot of people dropped Ash. So she didn't get Ash that much. Maybe once or twice she got Imperm or Veilered, but she resolved most of the time. And even when she did, I usually had another extender, like the Psychic package. Then I have the 2 Burning Abyss, Graph and Seer, which you summon off of her pretty much. I mean, I even resolved her late games a lot too, where I would go Tour Guide after already doing my Graph and Seer and just summon another Tour Guide. I mean, I'm really glad I put her back in last minute, and she really worked out. Still 2 of the best extenders, the Dangers. Nothing really unique there. Psychic package. Still good for follow-ups. But, you know, E-Tele targets as well. One big change for BODE that was really nice, but at the event, a lot of people were playing Chalice and Imperm, was Scythe. If I resolved it, I won. And with Dagda in the extra deck, you can keep resolving it. So it's really nice. It can be a brick, but, you know, it's a 1-of. So it wasn't too bad. You can pop with the other ways too, like Rusty Bardish and stuff. Or not Rusty, Break Sword. You play the Phoenix Forcer package for that Artifact Scythe. So pretty standard. Some people play the level 3, so you can use it as extender, but I think drawing 2 is just too good. And people forget about the dash effect where during your draw phase, you can just special a monster for free. So that helps unbreaker hands too. Like if you draw anything random. Like this card. Nib. My only hand trap. Still the best hand trap I think in the game right now, just because it just clears boards. So your opponent uses all their extending plays, and you just stop their extending plays with Nib. I feel like it is a lot dead in hand a lot of times, and it's one of the worst top decks. So I would still debate this card, but it was really successful to me. That was it for the monsters. My 1-of spells, Called by the Grave, Rhoda. Gotta play the Collector Rare though, so you see it. Pretty standard. I was playing Foolish originally, and I saw a lot of decks not playing Foolish. So I said I would try it out. I didn't miss it, so I kept it out. I did put in 2 E-Teles like I said I would, so those are very helpful. And I did drop my droplets for the Dark Ruler No Mores. These were very, very nice. A lot of times people would make the Sword Soul board, where it's just, you know, the one that negates monster effects, the Omni negate with Baroness, and Dragon Ice, whatever its name is, to negate a spell trap, and I just negate. Or they would go Window on board with a Macabre, just negate, and just allow me to do my plays. So if you didn't have a back row, you were pretty much out of luck, or a hand trap. Last of the spells, Fusion Destiny, pretty standard, you know. Traps, I changed a little bit. I added in the 3rd Fogblade back in. I always side out the 3rd one. Unless I go first, sometimes I might keep it in. It really depends on my matchup. But I still don't know how I feel about it. It didn't hurt. It just wasn't that helpful. Because, I mean, beforehand, I saw myself sometimes needing it. But I never really felt like I did still. I don't think I'd cut it yet. Like, the main deck, I pretty much love. Probably won't change anything about it. Last 2 traps with the last 2 Fanmite cards. Still debating this one. It actually came up really clutch in the damage step, where they had a Florida Lee's negated my Phoenix Enforcer, and I did this to make my Phoenix Enforcer 3000, his 3000, but mine is not destroyed the first time. So that was really nice. That's it for the main. Go on to this extra deck. Start off with my Link 4s. Access Code Talker. You gotta play this card. This or Borrowsword at least, but I definitely recommend this one. It pretty much is the same thing, but it clears the back row to solve your problems with facility decays. Other Link 4, Oppo. 2 Link 3s, Nightmare Unicorn. You can honestly probably cut this card. I'm debating about cutting it now because there's definitely one card you gotta play that I'm not playing that came out so many times randomly that I definitely gotta put in. I just didn't have one yet. So you can debate this card right now. Rusty, obviously got to play it. Really good. Cherubini, probably the best card because it doesn't matter if they Ash, Valor it, or whatever. I mean, you're sending as cost. So people would always just Imperm or Valor this, but I can keep going around and still go around with this. So it was really nice. New card in the extra deck, Dagda. This is how you set your artifact site. And in my extra deck, you'll see I had Lancia. A lot of times I would set it on their turn. So then I can stop them from banishing. Anaconda, still pretty standard. The one Link Spider just for your Shade Brigadine trap card because you have to have it to make Anaconda. That's it for the links. Onto the extra deck, or Xyz. 2 Break Sword. You got to play 2. I think in the future you could play 1 when the Brave tokens come out, but I think you got to play 2 right now. And I definitely, a lot of times with this extra deck, I will end up only having 1 or 2 cards left in my extra deck. And it's usually like an Oppo or something random. So it really depends. 2 Levies. I keep telling myself I'm going to cut to 1, but I always make 2. So like I really don't want to cut this card. But I do have to make room for Downer Magician, which is the card I was referring to earlier, that I don't currently have, that I need to play because every time I would make Zeus, I would only at most have, 3 under it when I could have 4, I would just have, like, as an example, these 3, and I would try to send it, and then they would do something else, and I can't do it a second time because I don't have the down earn. So you definitely got to add down earn in here if you're going to play this list in the future. Down earn is pretty stable. I just don't have one. I do love this card. This is my target for my Break Sword to bring back. Most people, you can just link off with it. So this is a potential cut card for the downerd. But the amount of times I've made this with this underneath to out problem cards because I can detach it and bounce a card is insane. And this came out so many times to beat over cards because once I'll Break Sword, pop their board, I'll usually set up gloves to bring it back, equip the Redoer. He gains 1,000, so he's 3,400. So he's a pretty big boy. So I still love him. It is a potential cut card. Right now, my only debating cards are this, the second Levy, or the Unicorn. This card came up the least, so this is what I'm considering. But I might need it in a situation. You never know. So pretty much anytime you can make Unicorn, you can make Break Sword. I feel like though, and Phoenix Enforcer. Gotta play it. Last card of the extra deck. Onto the side. Banker Tops. Regionettes at 1. Really insane. Still love it. My favorite card that, the more and more I play it, I don't think it's as bad, and that's Ghost Sister. It is a bad card, but this card's good for me. I always end up going to time, not because of me personally, just because that's just how situations go. And I decided this just in case, and that definitely won me a few games I shouldn't have won probably. But it actually does stop my opponents like Mag C from going off. Like they're scared to give me all that life. I had one person give me 80,000 life points at that tournament, and I just kept passing turn because you can never do that much damage. 2 Lancia. You don't need the 3rd, and in fact, I might cut it down to 1. Don't know yet because you can sit it with the Dagda. But 2 seem good. I usually like 2 for hand traps. And the last word, Drolls. I never draw this card. I think this card is losing its favor in the format. So this is probably going to get cut for evenly matches because that card is really strong right now. That's it for the monsters. But 2 twins. A lot of people are playing Cosmics. So I'm debating if I'm going to Cosmic or not. But I still like getting rid of 2 back row. Cosmic really is only good for the scythe, and that's why people play it. It also gets rid of like some sword soul cards, but I still think twin can be a little bit better. A card I'm definitely putting back to 3 is Anti-Spell. I did 2 Anti-Spell 1 order, so I cut the third one because I was like, it's pretty much another order, but I might as well just play 4 orders. Like, this card won me so many games. People just scooped. And the last card I tried randomly, just for Sword Soul and honestly other random matchups, was Gozen. It can conflict with the deck a little bit, but honestly not that much. I didn't see it that often, but I only sided against Sword Soul, to be honest. And when I did have it, it won me the game. This could easily be 3 evenly or 3 any of random other card. I might go a third Anti-Spell, drop the Drolls for 3 evenlies, and then maybe a third Twin or a Harpy's Duster. But that's it for my top 8 list. I didn't change anything from when I went to the locals the other day and went undefeated. So I hope you guys like the profile. Enjoy.